All right, so Mr. Pepard and Ms. Mendoza Noriega, you're the petitioners in this case. You get to go first, so go right ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. So on the 18th of October, Mr. Mitchell assaulted my wife with an unprovoked attack. My wife called 911, and I would like to draw your attention to that 911 call because it's clear the level of distress in Michelle's voice. And you can also hear Mr. Mitchell continue to threaten her in the 911 call audio. Furthermore, in the respondent's statement, he claimed that he approached Michelle carefully and cautiously because of a perceived history. Um, However, he still admits that he took the piece of equipment from Michelle, and after he admits that Michelle had denied him 3 times to take that piece of equipment. And honestly, I feel for the safety of my wife and my family, and as a result of this unprovoked attack, the respondent has proved to be unstable and not able to control his emotions or impulses, and I fear that the escalation of this may turn into a sexual assault or fatal injury in the future. Um, since that date until now, I've already purchased protective equipment with a total cost of $891.38, including recording glasses and self-defense pepper ball launcher. Um, I feel that a protective order is necessary for, the safety and security of both my wife and my family. You got anything you'd like
And
to
you're
add?
talking about, Mr. Pepard, just to be clear, you're talking about the incident that's described in the petition.
That's correct.
Okay, so Ms. Mendoza Noriega, can I hear from you about that circumstance? Because if I recall, you're the person who was involved in it.
Correct. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Are you asking me to explain what happened that day? Okay. Um,
Yes.
I was working out that day, around 10 a.m., 9 a.m. I was there. I was on a section where there's cables, and I had a cable hooked onto my left foot at the time. I'm sorry, and I didn't see who was around me until I felt a presence of like a person to my left side. And I have my headphones in. As I'm doing the exercise, I look over and I realize who it is. Um, and I don't have, I don't know him personally, but I have a history with him because for the past 10 years at that gym, he has always tried to intimidate me with his stares and looks. So, like, I already don't want to be near this person. I try my best to avoid him. So, when I first saw him, I was like frazzled and like, whoa, why are you so close to me? Like, face to face close. And he asks me, I take my headphone out as I realize, oh, hey, can I use this bench? And on the bench was my belongings, my phone, my water bottle, and my fanny pack at the time. I was using the bench, but I told him no. He says that he asked me 3 times. He never asked me 3 times, Your Honor. He asked me once, and I told him no, firmly no. He seemed to not take that well, so what he did was he started reaching for the bench with both his hands while my stuff was on there. So I just reacted and I told him I'm using it once again. So I grabbed the bench too. So he's got his 2 arms, hands holding it at the bottom. And so I grab on top. So at this point, my stuff is starting to slide off. And so I just react again and I try to sit on it. Maybe not my best choice, but I tried to sit on it, but he wasn't, I was too slow. So he already had it in midair and I tried to grab it again. My stuff fell all over the floor. He claims in the police report that he gently put it on the ground just to make sure her stuff didn't fall. That's blatantly a false lie, Your Honor. My stuff fell and I reacted. So as I'm grabbing the bench and he's grabbing the bench and we have a hold on it, both of us, he pulls. Obviously, he's stronger than me. He's a man's strength compared to a woman. There's no competition there. So he pulls hard. I try to pull back, and while we're doing that, he has it in his hands. But then he proceeds, because he sees that I'm not letting go. He proceeds to like push me off like this, like very hard, and then he nudges me, like he uses his body because he sees that I try to grab it again, and he uses his body and like nudges me over, and then he's like, word for word, Your Honor, he said, girl, please, I'm taking it. You're not using it. I'm taking it. So he finally has the hold of the bench. I am not gonna fight a man because I'm a 5 foot, 110-pound woman. You know, I have no comparison. So I reacted, you know, properly. I feel like I put my hands up and I immediately was just like stressed out and scared because I didn't know what he was gonna do. And as I'm calling 911, Your Honor, I'm sorry, I'm traumatized by it because I've never had this happen, but, you know, I'm calling 911 shaking, and I'm telling the operator that I just got assaulted, and as I'm doing that in the 911 call that you received, he says, girl, watch your mouth, and gets in my face. Like, as I have the phone in my hand, he's in my face, and, you know, he's a big guy, right? So I'm just, like, hoping that, like, this 911 call can hear it, so, like, at least if I get hurt, they know that it's this man. And so then I'm like, watch my mouth, okay? And I tell the operator, can you hear him? And the operator obviously confirms that. She's like, yeah, I can hear him. And then she asks me where I'm at. And then as soon as that, he says, girl, you better watch out. Girl, you better watch out. Twice. That whole phrase has like ingrained in my head over and over. And got in my face. I'm surprised nobody helped me, Your Honor. Staff implied that I'm fit enough to protect myself. Nobody believes me, and I just feel very like scared. I'm on edge. I have a new baby, and I have another child, and not even at just the gym, Your Honor. I don't feel safe out and about with my kids or my family. And just a very like I'm just scared, Your Honor, and I don't like to live in fear. We go to the same gym facility. I don't know him personally, and he is one of those people that keeps telling, he talks to everybody, is what he has said, and he talks to so many people, and my neighbor is a witness to knowing that he overheard him speaking about the situation, just blabbing about, you know, what I have done when I called 911 against him. So I know he's speaking ill of me, and I know that's not an offense, but I don't feel safe, Your Honor, because he has like other men that he speaks with that I observe, and like I'm scared that I'm gonna go to the gym, or I'm with my child, my baby, which is right here, you know, my other baby, and he's gonna attack me from the back. Like the words of watch out, watch your mouth, and got in my face. I just like, I'm so traumatized by it, Your Honor, and I want peace, and I want this to be over with, and this is majority for the safety of myself and my family, and I don't want anything to happen to where that's when people pay attention, Your Honor. I tried to like avoid him and keep my distance even before this incident happened, and you know, I kept my distance because I knew I had this bad feeling about this man. You know, has ill intent with the way he stares at me. He, at the gym after the incident, I was working out, and him and some other woman I don't know didn't just stare at me with like, oh, you know, you stare. It's like long stares. Like they lasted about 2 to 3 minutes each time, and they were just both with their arms like this looking at me. And I don't know what's gonna happen to me if I go into the locker room. I don't know who he knows. You know, I stand out. I know I stand out, and I don't know who he has spoke about me and who is out there that hurt me. And that's how on edge and like I am right now. I need this protection order, Your Honor, because like I just want this to end and leave on good terms, Your Honor. Recently when he got served, you didn't receive the video in time, but we have evidence in the video where he got served, and you hear a man in the background. I don't know who it is, but you see him and you don't see the man in the background, and the man in the background is saying, oh, is that a restraining order? And starts laughing. And then the man who served him was like, yeah, it is. And then the other man, the person we can't see, was laughing about the incident. He's like, oh, I was just kidding. Are you serious? Ha ha ha. Like thinking it's a joke. Like no woman's safety is a joke, or any person's safety is a joke, Your Honor. And I'm just like, I don't feel good. I don't feel safe is my point. So that's all I have to say.
Well, Mr. Mitchell, why don't you go ahead and tell me your side of it, and then I'll make a decision.
Okay. Statements of what they saw. I have an eyewitness to everything. And I have all this here. Plus, took a while to get management because everybody's spread out. So, but I finally got it, so I wasn't able to follow it any type of way. And plus, photographs of how Michelle and I know each other. This is a bodybuilding days back in the day. And I also have pictures of where we were in the gym. And that's the stand that we speak of. So I just had this before. So anyway, that particular day, Your Honor, I come in like any other day. Everyone knows me from the gym. I've been there over 20 years. I'm a personal trainer there also. I just work certain times. I don't work every day, but bottom line is everyone knows who I am. They come up to me, they speak to me, whatever the case is. It's just, they call me the mayor. That's the little nickname they give me. But anyway, Michelle, that particular day, so I'm gonna go right to the incidents. That particular day I come in, walk in, it's shoulder day. I decided to go work out where I always do by the Smith machine. And I noticed there's a bench, there's a stool, and no one uses. And if they do use it, they always use it for the wrong reason. They store stuff on top of it. So 99% of the time, if you go up to someone and you notice that stool is in the corner because that's where it sits, management wanted to get rid of the stool, but they kept it around because I asked them to keep it because it's very old. Anyway, I noticed that it's over there by Michelle. And I said, man, I took a deep breath and I said, man, let me walk over there anyway. So I noticed that she's on her phone. She has her maybe earbuds in the ear, I suppose, but it's Michelle. And there's a history about Michelle that her and I have encountered back in 2018, which was another line incident, but that's another story. But anyway, it was settled. I thought it was settled, but I haven't spoken to Michelle since 2018, period. Okay, don't look at her, don't talk to her. I don't have anything to say to her since 2018. So that particular day, she's standing in the corner, and the bench is there, not being used, but I noticed that it has her water bottle and I think maybe a jacket on top of it. I can't recall. But I know her cell phone wasn't on top of it because she was on her cell phone, appeared to be texting someone. I go up to her, take a deep breath. I tap the bench, never touch her, okay? I say, hey, are you using this bench? She noticed that is me. She turns around and she says, I'm using this bench to store my belongings on top of. So I say, well, Michelle, if you're not going to use the bench for what it's used for, I would like to use it. She repeats herself the second time and says, well, I said again, I am storing my stuff on top of the bench. So I said, Michelle, really, if you're not going to use it, I'm going to use it for what it's used for. So I grab the bottom part of this bench from the outside. She's on the inside. I grab her with one hand. And as I'm grabbing it, Michelle noticed that I grabbed it. She now grabs the top of the thing with two hands. There's never a shove back and forth. We never went back and forth. Her belongings started to slip off of the thing. So she decided that her belongings were more important. So as she grabs her stuff, I politely take it and I go next door to her, right here, to work out. She mentions that I got right into her face. From that point on, we never had another conversation. I was able to do 5 sets without even saying a word to Michelle. Michelle leaves her area here and decides to walk over to me, stands there, calls 911. As she's standing there, this is the body language that she's giving. She's standing there like this, talking to 911 operator, explaining to them what I was doing, how I did it, and who I did it to. Not only does she stands there, she continues to walk closer to me, hoping that I cannot say she was doing it on purpose, but it appeared that she was trying to get close enough to me so I would bump into her while I'm trying to change my weight on a totally different machine, nowhere near Michelle. Michelle walks over to me. As I'm changing the machine to do something else, she inches closer to me And I said, wow, this is too much. So I was smart enough to say, well, she's going to stand here. So I decided to go around the other side of the machine to keep from bumping into her because I see what she was trying to do. So as she's describing me over the phone, she now says, well, there's a strange man that has walked up to me and assaulted me. She's calling 911. So I'm standing there still working out, haven't said a word to her. Hadn't said a single word to her. She now says, yeah, he's a black man. Yes. And he's old. Yes, whoever she's talking to. Oh no, he's very old. And oh, excuse me. Oh, what did you say? I didn't say a word to her. She's saying that I'm saying something to her, but I'm not saying nothing to Michelle. Then Michelle says, so, you know he might run, you know, because that's what they do. Okay? She says it twice. Should I stay here? Should I get help? Yes. Could you send someone to me because my left hand is injured? Yes, I need medical attention. Mind you, I had had enough of listening to her. I left the scene and I go up to talk to management because I know what she's doing here. As I'm talking to management, it's just me and the manager up front. I'm trying to explain to him, there's an incident just occurred back here, letting you know what's going on, who it involves. And I'm here to just tell you what's going on. She immediately, wherever she came from, came up to the front, got in between me and the manager of the club and started to yell, he assaulted me. He assaulted me. And I said, Michelle, you know I did not touch you. She says, pardon my language, you're just trying to protect your own ass. So the manager kind of breaks the little conversation up. The next thing comes out of Michelle's mouth is, my husband will be up here soon. I never even met her husband, don't know who he is. I've seen him, but I have no idea who the guy is. So I say, well, I hope, Michelle, he does not come here and try to start something with me. End of conversation. There was nothing else ever said with Michelle.
But then the police eventually came.
The police
right?
came. Michelle sits over there. I see her because I never left the front. Never did I leave the front.
Mm-hmm.
The police got her statement. She had a hoodie on. She decides to take the hoodie off right in front of the firemen and the police officers. For whatever reason she's doing it, I don't know. So as she's taking it off, I'm standing there patiently until my turn came. Police comes over. He said, would you like to make a statement? I said, sure. Give me your side of the story. I give him my side of the story. I go over and I come back. I have no idea what transpired after that. Okay. Shortly after that, maybe about a week or two, I don't know. I can't keep up with it, but I was served by a gentleman in the gym.
Yeah, we don't have to go into that part.
So that's the moral of the story.
Yeah. So I read the police report because she submitted it. And do you have any quarrel with the statement that's attributed to you?
I have
in
no
this
idea what
police
she
report? I mean, I'm not talking about what she said.
Oh, okay,
because
got
you told me what you heard her say.
Sure.
But there are statements attributed to you in the police report. Do you have any quarrel with any of those?
Did I read it? Is that the same thing that I read?
Yes.
Where
you told the police your side of it.
Well, I gave my side of the story, and I told them. They said, "Well, you know what? We can't arrest you. That's your word against her. If she decides to pursue,
Yeah,
yada
that's
yada yada."
consistent with what's in the police
Right.
report. All right, I just wanted to make sure that you didn't have any objection.
But I do have an
or-
eyewitness with a letter, and it was signed by management because I didn't want you to think that I don't hire somebody to write this. So this is something that was written by one guy. I mean, I know who he is, but he didn't want to give his name for whatever the reason is. She also walked up to him after the incident because he shared that with me. He said, well, she came up to me and apologized to him. He said, sorry you had to witness this. He didn't understand why she apologized to him, but she did. And I asked him to write a statement and tell me exactly what you saw. He writes this statement, he gives it to management, and I have it right here before the court, Your Honor. And it's, like I said, it's signed by the assistant manager at LA Fitness, as well as other character witnesses statements that will describe who I am and how I get down. But Michelle and I don't really have a past. It's just that I was competing one particular year and she was competing in the same show. And she would like everyone to think that I was a strange person to her, but I'm not a strange person. And it's someone who's never even harassed her in any way. I know that there is something in the police report, I believe, or the court papers that she stated that I tried to ask her out and said something about, it's in this right, it's in the court papers, stating that if I was 20 years younger, I would, petition. Right. And okay. She said, if I was 20 years younger, then I would want to date her. And I'm like, that still wouldn't work because you're a child. So that's something I know I didn't do. But she claims that that's the reason why she have an issue with me, because I'm sorry. She claimed that I'm the one that had the issue with her because she resented me, which is so not true. And she has a case against one of our personal managers. I mean, yeah, personal managers now, personal trainers now. And I don't want to call her name, but there's another incident that she has with another staff member, which is a female. And I don't really want to go into it because that's a case that's probably out there. But anyway,
probably not relevant to this case.
It's not relevant to this case, but it definitely shows her pattern and what she appears to be up to when it comes to certain things, because that is not my character.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
All right. I've listened carefully to what everybody's had to say here. I've reviewed the petition, the attached police report, recordings that were made, and written statements that were also made and submitted to the court. Now, before really anything else, I think it's clear that the petition here does not establish a course of conduct, and all by itself, that's fatal to the petition. So in other words, in order for unlawful harassment to occur under the law, there has to be what's called a course of conduct, which is a series of events that are directed at a specific person that are detrimental or harmful to that person. And this is an incident, not a course of conduct. So all by itself, that would be a reason that the order could not be issued. And that may very well be why a temporary order was not issued either. And then on top of that, I've listened to both of you, well, all three of you. I guess mainly it's Ms. Mendoza Noriega, because she's the person who was present and witnessed the events. The description of what occurred here, which has been told to me by Ms. Mendoza Noriega, been told to me by Mr. Mitchell, and I've read it in the police report and the written statements that were submitted by both sides. Even that does not establish that an assault occurred. So even if this were to be based on a single incident, I can't find by a preponderance of the evidence that an assault occurred here in the disagreement over who is going to use the table or the bench or the stool, or however it's characterized. So there's no basis to issue an order in this case. So the petition for an anti-harassment order will be denied. Right, I've written up a written order consistent with the decision that I just announced, and it'll be available to all the parties. And Mr. Mitchell, since you're here, you can just get a copy of it from the clerk. Yeah, she'll make a copy of it for you right now.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's what I'm here for.
I totally understand.